everybody. Just tuning in here before we get our workout. Waiting for the last musketeer of the group. I'm here with Steven. Just getting some footage for you guys working out. Yeah, he showed up, finally.
Oh my god.
Gonna get some workout footage, gonna cover the big lifts. Feeling a bit under the weather, but I still wanted to come with the boys, move around. My intensity will be modified a little bit less. Don't want to push it too hard when you're sick or when you're not feeling 100%. Working out and pushing it to that limit, your CNS, has to fire a certain amount to get that muscle recruiting. But your immune system obviously drops for that amount of time. So, I mean, it's good just to kind of monitor your intensity a bit. So, yep, so let's go get it. The boys are finally here. Let's get after it.
Here we are. It's compound lift day. Focusing on all the big movements. We have squats. Jonah demonstrating how to do these. Nice and solid. Alright, so we're focusing on these compound movements because they are the movements that give the most bang for your buck, basically. Oh, I know you're feeling sick, but how's it feeling?
Solid. I mean, squats feel good. The main thing you gotta focus on when you're squatting is keeping that back nice and tight. The hips are doing most of the work. So, I mean, a lot of people tend to lean on their balls or their feet. When you really want to emphasize on sitting back, let the hips come back, come down into the squat, come up nice and tight. I mean, right now we're going light. Don't want to push it too hard. It's only going to make me feel worse tomorrow.
Range of motion was looking on point. That depth.
A lot of practice.
That depth.
Practice. It's like anything. When it comes to these things, practice makes perfect.
Yes.
Key points to focus on when deadlifting is really getting those hips back. Just like the squat we just talked about. Notice how his hips go back when they drive up. Drives his hips up. That's where most of your power is. That's where most of your power is coming from when you're doing squats and your deadlift. It comes from your hips. So if you lack hip mobility, you have issues getting low or getting into that position, it's something you may want to address. Go light, work on some mobility stuff. We can cover that in another video. But yeah, the key points is keeping tight, back's neutral, chest is out, and really driving those hips up.
Also, if your back is arched and it looks like you're a dog taking a shit, you're doing it wrong.
You guys have some good insight.
Yes, I
do. All right, so you guys just saw deadlifts and squats. One of the next big compound lifts, incline bench press. You gotta make sure you have an arched back. Full range of motion with the bar. Touching your chest and really extending those arms. Pay attention to his grip. Thumb over fingers. Talk to us. How'd it feel? What was that? Still knocking it out, that's what matters. Motivation, perseverance.
Just testing the waters.
Good, good. What would you say the main things to focus on on incline bench chart to make sure you're doing it right.
45s?
You can take that off.
What did you want to focus on? One thing to focus. Having a nice arch. About grabbing the gnaw nice and tight. Overhand grip. Squeeze the bar. Just to press those shoulders and push.
You fucking seem out of it.
Yeah, no, I'm out of it right now for sure. But I mean, consistency is the key. Especially as we're crunching down these last 10 weeks, we want to really go monitor it down, the intensity, but we don't want to skip any days. Any other time, I would really just take the day off, to be honest. I wouldn't really be here pushing it, but we're on the clock.
Yeah. Definitely. Alright.
Overhead press is probably the most important lift of the upper body over the bench. Keep my grip about shoulder width, whatever's comfortable for you.
Hey, let me try to get over here, show these. There you go.
Easy for the bench, I keep it here, this grip, but for the overhead press, I keep it a little bit closer. A little bit more natural. Rest it on your collarbone. Everything's tight, horse tight.
Yep.
Head slightly elevated. Once the ball passes right over my head, you'll notice that I'm going to put my head through the window and lock out at the top.
You want to come all the way down, all the way up. You don't want to stop at like 90 degrees.
Yeah, basically, lock out. If you can't, drop the weight, humble yourself a bit. Most important thing for shoulder development is full range of motion. Full lockout. Pedro by far I think has the best shoulder mobility out of the three of us, hands down. Look how he executes. Bam, right through that window. Full line, straight line.
All right, we are here, closer to the end.
Oh yeah, please.
What do we have next?
We're gonna hit some pull-ups real quick.
One of the big compound movements.
Nice, man. Nice transition. Smooth.
So smooth.
Yeah, pull-ups, one of the greatest exercises you can do anywhere, even if you're not at a gym. It's a very honest exercise. It's either you can do it
Or you can't.
or you can't. There's no in between. You can kind of like move your Fisher way up there. But I mean, it's one of the exercises that are going to be very honest. I mean, best one one of the best ones if I had to choose. Yeah, best ones if I had to choose.
Yeah, it really works all around. I mean, it works your shoulders, I would say, your arms, your back.
You can play with different grips, in different areas of your back. I mean, the overall movement's the same. You really want to engage your back. You know, bringing the bar as if you're bringing it to your chest versus just coming up in a straight line. You want to be coming up and really bringing those shoulder blades back and squeezing at the top. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate wide pull-ups.
All right, let's do it. Yep, full range of motion, super important. Fully extend those arms. Try to retract your back on the way up. And try to get that chin over the bar. Good job, man.
Form started to break down a little bit, so I didn't want to show you guys the nasty ones, but Yeah, man, just keep in full range. If you can't do this, there are assisted machines that you could use that can kind of get your pull-ups up there. Also, tension ones. I'll show you guys a quick tension one. Basically, you come up to the bar if you don't know how to do a pull-up. You can get on something, jump onto the bar.
I was actually just gonna tell you if we could demonstrate that really quick.
Yeah. So how it look like? Same grip. And hold.
Yep.
And basically, to do a couple of those, it's really just the focus is getting comfortable being up there, creating that tension, squeezing the bar, keeping everything nice and tight. Eventually, you can probably do one, and maybe next week you do 2 to 3. It's on you start progressing.
Yep.
Like that.
It's all about getting better.
Consistency of practice is like your squats, like your deadlifts. Practice does make perfect.
What would you say about, what would you recommend more, chin-ups or pull-ups? There's always like a big...
I mean, usually chin-ups is people have the intent, the mind that your hands are right here, supinated. I mean, they're easier. I like them. I'm just doing wide because I'm trying to hit my back in a different way today. But usually I go to the supinated position, which your hands are facing to you. I like the effect that I feel on my bicep. I like the overall pump that I get. But I mean, yeah, it's much easier. That's probably a go-to for most people when they first start. So I mean, that's an option. It looks something like this.
Boom. Again, full range of motion. Try to get your chin over that bar. Good stuff.
Basically, yeah, you just keep exaggerating that range of motion, getting that squeeze. Tension would be the same if you did it. You'd be grabbing the bar, bringing it to you, holding, squeezing tight, hold it there for a couple seconds, release slow. And that's one way you can start to progress with your pull-ups if you're having a hard time with that.
Good stuff.
Alright, covering dips.
Last but not least.
Alright, cool. So this is going to be the last workout of the day for us. Due to the fact that I'm not feeling 100%, so I mean, it's something is something. I make sure that I cover the most important lifts of the week versus just doing a bunch of machines or band work that wouldn't have been the most beneficial for me if I'm going to try to cut down my gym time today. Last one for the upper body is going to be dips. Probably one of my favorite for chest development as well as tricep. Has really helped me gain a lot of strength on my other lifts. A lot of people suffer here because of a lack of range of motion in their shoulders. So I mean, you have to work your way there slowly. But the most important, you can start with benches and stuff. But obviously, this is going to probably be the best one out of, if you had to pick between a bench or the bars. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how you would go about that. Focus on footwork.
Full extension. Good stuff. Look at that range of motion. Full lockup up at the top. Looking good, dude.
The great thing about this one also, before I forget, is that the fact that I say that it's a little bit better than the actual bench dips is the fact that when you can strap on a belt, if you're trying to get stronger in this lift, you attach a belt, you can put a dumbbell on your feet. I like it better than sitting plates on my waist. I feel like the range of motion is not as good as the bars when you're doing it on a bench too. So I mean, there's limiting factors, but if you're a beginner, a bench is a great alternative. If you're a little bit more advanced or you get more comfortable and you get a little bit stronger, try doing some bar dips. And I mean, it's overall good pump on your triceps, chest, and your strength goes up relatively quick.
Boom.